Good evening and welcome everyone here to ALR, the Monday GT League. We have Tier 3 again. It is Daytona, it is midnight, and we're getting ready for the show. 15 cars in the grid, that's what we like to see. Pretty top speed related track, of course, as you also see on the track map. Most of the track is part of the Daytona Oval. So absolute top speed sector. Key points will be turn 1, difficult braking zone. And yeah, one of the points where people might have a look for an overtake. And also, yeah, the infield, of course. We have two 180-degree corners. And the bus stop is kind of made for carnage, because if you're getting a good slipstream onto the bus stop, you're gonna try to make a move, but making an overtake through the bus stop is pretty difficult. So let's go through the grid. We have P15 Black Charizard in the AMG SLS. Should be a car that could work around here. Good top speed, but also, yeah, the starting position of Black Charizard shows something different, but maybe just a missed qualifying lap. We have whack jams in the Renault on P14. I have no clue what the Renault's pace is, so will be a surprise. We have O'Leary on P13. Usually we see him a bit more in the top of the grid, usually around P6, 7, 8. But yeah, the AMG is very slow on the straights. We need a good slipstream to be competitive. Sector 2 is maybe his favorite playground. Then we have Wittweer in the Lexus. Lexus is a car that can be good around here, but he need definitely slipstream. Without slipstream, this car isn't that competitive. Then we have Otto Radion, the Austrian guy, new face here in the second SLS, so he showed that there's a bit more potential in the car with P11. We have Gavrilov in the second Renault, and Major on P9 in the second SLS. So yeah, that's kind of the cars that we expected around here. Maybe not the Lexus, but there will be another Lexus a bit more ahead in the grid. Then we have Polti in the Porsche. Hurricane on P7, also a bit of a surprise. Championship leader, and his teammate, we see a Faxar on P1. The RX Vision, like on kind of every track, is working pretty good around here. Then we have Regnix, who's back after a week break in the second Porsche, and I have high expectations on the Porsche. So for me, the Porsche was quicker than the Corvette on Daytona, but yeah, maybe it is very much related to the wind. But the Porsche is a good all-rounder, very good in the cornering, especially in the braking zones. Also competitive on the straights. Then we have, like we said, in the second Lexus, a bit more ahead, P5, Allen. Also brought very good results in the past, so definitely have an eye on it. Then we have Tap on P4, one position behind his teammate Rosso, second row lockout for Corvette, and also the Corvette with the good top speed is definitely a car to watch around here. But also the Corvette in the second sector, it has to step a bit earlier on the brakes than other cars, so maybe it is attackable in the braking zones. But yeah, on the straights and in slipstream, they should walk through the grid. And then we have Pasti on P2 in the FT1, and like said before, a Faxard on the pole. So yeah, shouldn't talk about this RX Vision and also the FT1. Brutal fast cars around here. And so we're ready to go. Daytona, let's see if we have some lap 1 carnage. Like always, not spoiled. No clue what happened. So let's have a big surprise here in the feature race. In the sprint race, sorry. brilliant start here from Ross. Corvette has a great launch. Tap is not getting past the other guys. So turn 1. Just a few pushes, but everyone made it around. Regnick's a bit on the grass here in a duel with one of the SLSs. And one of the Porsche really dropped behind. So let's have an eye what happened to Pulte. Yeah, there's Pulte who lost plenty of positions. I mean, we know the Porsche is a lame duck on the start, and we're gonna see it now. AMG is just flying through it, also Renault and the SLS, so maybe it was just a bad start. Also his teammate Regnick's lost. Oh no, there was a little bit of contact and he tried to avoid. Oh, that was kind of a pile-up. Why? I think it was Otto Redilon. Great start from his side. Hurricane, as we see, a bit stuck here behind Allen. Try to make the move on the inside. There's a little tap on Hurricane's rear. Allen closing the door here on Hurricane's side. In the end, just a pile-up, and Pulte was the guy who lost the most positions around here. O'Leary couldn't take benefit from the good start of the Mercedes. And Tap is now on P15. What happened to Tap? He started very well, was on P4. Touching the grass on the exit, spinning. Lucky for everyone else that he just got ghosted. And so the good starting position is already gone. So Ross is now in the lead, followed by a Faxart. Pasty, Hurricane is now on P4. Duel here against Allen. Is the Faxart able to attack the Corvette on the straight line? He's gaining a little. Ross is having the inside line. Yeah, out of the slipstream of Faxart is not gaining any time. And this guardrail lover who... So let's have an eye what happened to guardrail lover. It looked that he just... Oh, this is not guardrail lover, there he is. That he just went a bit wide, touching the grass, spinning around. He got a little bit outbalanced, yes, and then spins around, and Pulte again losing a lot of momentum. Very, very unlucky start for our Swiss friend in the Porsche. Faxart is preparing a move, but as soon as he leaves the slipstream, there's no chance to pass the Corvette. But maybe now on the braking zone. Was completely covering the inside. And now a Faxart under pressure here from Pasty. But a Faxart managed to stay ahead. Also P4 and 5, Hurricane and Allen. Very, very rough overtake here from Hurricane. No clue why he's flashing the lights here. Nothing dirty, but a little push to pass. But also no reason for Hurricane to flash his light here, because if there's a mistake, it's definitely only his side. Major, after the poor qualifying, now on P6, getting under pressure from Black Charizard, who took very, very big advantage of the slightly chaotic starting phase. Had a brilliant start with the SLS, managed to make it on P7, also his teammate on P8, jumped 3 positions. Regnick's in the Porsche. Now has the problem after the bad start that he has to make his way through the grid, and that is kind of difficult here at Daytona. Polti, P11, Wag Jams, now under pressure from Tap, who's trying to manage to get back in front with the Corvette. Outside line against the Renault. Definitely has the top speed advantage. And also O'Leary is trying a move. And that's Polti off again. Was there contact between him and Tap? Tap was really, really close to him. We didn't heard impact, we just heard screaming tires. Now we heard the impact. Yeah, that's definitely on Tap. Very aggressive move here. And another big time loss for Polti, whose race is already ruined after 2 laps and a bit. So on P1, still Ross, followed by a Faxart, Hurricane and Pesty. Allen on P5. Then Major, Black Charizard, Auto Ration. 3 Mercedes in a row. Regnick's in the best placed Porsche on P9. Vitri in the second. Lexus on P10. Renault is really struggling around here. P12, P14, Guardrail Lover and Wag James. Also qualifying results showed us that they might have a problem at Daytona. And Faxart is getting more and more pressure from his teammate, from the championship leader. Will there be any kind of team order? Very, very late on the brakes here from a Faxart. Gained a lot of on Ross. Let's watch this again. This looks really, really interesting. Looked like a little dive bomb attempt here from a Faxart. Yes, a Faxart absolutely late on the brakes. Managed to avoid contact with Ross. Ross with the switchback. But the Faxart could defend his second position for now. Now Hurricane has the inside line. And Hurricane also trying to attack Ross. So let's spectate it from a Faxart's view here. Hurricane, interesting line through this long kind of double left-hander. And now Hurricane has the inside line. Little contact here. Ross backed out of the situation to avoid the chaos, and Alan snuffed Pasty, but both are immediately on their rears. And that's what I said, the Lexus is brilliant in slipstream. Now Alan can attack a Foxart. Also Pasty is slipping through. Very, very close racing here. In the top 6. Looked like a little push here from a Foxart against Alan. Alan kept P3, Pasty P4. Ross on P2, and Hurricane, the championship leader, is also now leading this race. Paul P15, Guardrail Lover P14, also close racing here between P14 and should be P10-9. Regnix now out of this fighting group. Purple sector shows that he can go quicker and is trying to get at least back to Black Charizard's rear. What is the end of the leading group? Hurricane tries to escape, and a Foxart lost the car in the bus stop. I mean, it's called Le Mans chicane, but I think bus stop is a bit more obvious to understand. Cutting the corner here, touching the grass, outbalancing the car, pick up a penalty, completely hitting the barrier. And that's a big, big time and position loss. Because also this 1.5 second penalty will kick in the middle of the straight. Wake Jam's also sitting on a 1 second penalty. Might bring Polty back in the game. This kill attempt costed way more than this 2.5 seconds that you gain under a penalty. Hurricane now has a little bit room to breathe, but we also know that Hurricane, even if Daytona is not the absolute tire killer, but Hurricane is one of the roughest on the rubber. Currently Pasty looks the worst, Alan looking good. Black Charizard now under pressure from Major. Black Charizard has the inside line. It's also interesting, if these two will work together, they might be able to drag themselves into the slipstream of Alan, but if they keep fighting and switching positions, the top 4 should just escape. And now Pasty has a really good exit out of the bus stop. Alan, absolute smart, staying in the slipstream of the car ahead, trying to get a chance against Pasty. But the Corvette has the better straight line speed. And Alan now has the inside line. Very, very clever move from the US guy. even if they're fighting a lot, while Pesty is now back on Alan's rear. Hurricane is not increasing the lead that much. Polti is almost back in the business. But of course, all this spinning and getting pushed around didn't help his tires. 3 minutes left, or about 3 minutes. O'Leary P14, Faxat back on P13, Vidvir P12, Guardrail Lover P11, Wack Jams P10. Both Renaults benefited a bit from the trouble of the others. Then we have Autoration, Tab on P8. So let's see if he can reach Major in the left 2 laps, 2.5. Regnick's P6. Solid comeback after the missed start. Black Charizard could be catchable for Regnick's. More penalty here for Major. Will throw him out of slipstream range of Regnick's. So probably no chance for him to get back to this group. Has the Gente position back from Alan. Alan now on P4, away from the podium. And I think Ross reached a point where he's having more an eye into his rear mirrors than on Hurricane in the front. Because I think currently the only way is a mistake on Hurricane's side. Picking up a penalty or losing the car in the bus stop. Alan is back on Pace's rear. This Lexus is an absolute phenom in the slipstream. Maybe we will see why, because he should be able to attack out of the slipstream, but as soon as he leaves the slipstream, he's just dropping back. You see he's gaining. Oh, and that's Ross having a penalty. What happened to Ross? Oh, 2-second penalty in the bus stop. Took the entry a bit too tight. That is super unfortunate. This is costing so much. So even without passing Pesty, Alan is back on the podium. Let's see if he can attack. Also Black Charizard. Yeah, Ross lost all the momentum on the straight. Ragnix is passing him. This penalty zone is so painful. That's a big open door now for Hurricane for his next victory. Pesty trying to defend against Alan. It is the last lap, but no one really can be safe because these guys are all fighting. And as we saw on Ross' side, it is so easy to get a penalty in the bus stop. Sometimes they just look absolutely random because the game allow you to cut a lot of the chicane, but obviously not everything. So let's see if Hurricane can get a clean bus stop. then it is kind of a safe win for him. Yes, no penalties for no one, I think. And it's Alan against Pesty, the race to the line. But at the point, Alan sticks their nose out of the slipstream. He's not gaining. There you see. And it's Pesty who's going away with P2, Alan with P3. Black Charizard, brilliant race from P15 to P4, Regnick's P5. After the bad start, Ross dropped back to P6, Major to P7. Tap, good comeback after his first lap situation. Good debut also for Autoretti and gained 2 places on P9. Wreck Jams, Vitvir, Faxart, O'Leary, Guardrail Lover and Polti are completing the grid. So really interesting race. Overall, so what I saw, pretty clean one, what is also really important. And let's see what the feature brought us. Again, trying to cover my screen to not see the result, because that is boring. It would be nice if the game would just give you the grid order. Perfect, hadn't seen anything. Let's, as usual, first have a look on the grid order and the tires. Medium tires for Hurricane, obvious choice, will be a one-stop. I think people will go around 20 minutes or +1, +2 laps on the softs. And so I think the first pit stops from the medium guys we're gonna see after about 17, 16 maybe laps. We have Pesty also on the mediums. Alan mediums, mediums also for Black Charizard. Again, brilliant result from him after the poor qualifying. Regnick's on the mediums, Ross first one on the softs. Interesting choice. Major on mediums. Tap also on mediums, the second Corvette. Second guy is Autoretion in the SLS. Wreck Jams on mediums, Vitvir on mediums. Afaxad on mediums, O'Leary, Guardrail Lover on softs, and Polti on the mediums. I think Guardrail Lover's choice is the best from the medium driver, from the soft drivers, because there's only Polti in front of him, and Polti could also be a good tow, because I think Polti should be also pretty quick on the medium tires. Overall, the difference between the tires is not that big. Let's see, rolling start again. Like usual in the feature, 40 minutes to go. Not expecting big chaos. A Faxard, brilliant start. Good start from everyone here. Oh, with James overshooting corner slightly. Not hitting another car. Let's see. Top 4 haven't gained or lost any positions. Hurricane. What happened to him? What happened to Hurricane? Just absolutely late on the brakes. Avoiding contact with Pasty. This is something that shouldn't be allowed from the league, resetting the car, because this is definitely not a point where you get auto-resetted. I mean, it still costs a lot of positions. But I'm not a big fan of getting resetted on the way the game intends, and manual reset is even more stupid because as it is sim racing, it should simulate in the best way your racing, and so of course I'm not a fan of ghosting or manual resets or also automatic resets, but never mind. We have Polti in the lead, guardrail lover in his slipstream on the soft tires, Faxard. Definitely a guy to watch, had the pace, had the pole position. And has now the potentially slower cars behind him to build a solid gap. And then we have the fighting group around O'Leary, Whitvier, Wack Jams. And Ross attacking around the outside here, Autoration. Not successful. Yeah, Ross definitely needs to get through this pack as soon as possible. He's on the soft tires. He don't want to waste the advantage of the quicker tire. And now inside line. But the Austrian guy is not giving up. And Ragnix is looking to take profit. Ragnix now has the inside line. But not the top speed to counter the Corvette. Ross now having a look and completing the move, and that's Ross picked up a penalty. That looked like an absolute insane catch here from Autoration. Receiving a tap from the Porsche. Catch the car, still lost Pro 2 positions. Can't really blame Ragnix for this. Autoration is reducing the speed massively. And yeah, maybe a little lift could have avoided it, but this penalty for Ross is again super annoying. We'll see slowing down a second. Losing 4 positions. Tap staying behind now. Also Tap is passing. This is the 4th position he lost. And this is a big throwback to what he's looking for. Alan also had a bigger problem. Let's see. A bigger problem. How do you have to take the bus stop to get a 3-second penalty? It wasn't the bus stop. It wasn't even the bus stop. So yeah, 3-second penalty. But still, he's very far behind Pasty. We're getting closer to the incident. There is some P13. It happened in the corner where Hurricane went off the track. Please don't tell me, oh, this game is so horrible. This game is so horrible. That's maybe one of the dumbest penalties I've ever seen. So we're seeing here Black Charizard on the inside line attacking. I think we can call this not leaving enough space, I would say. And then it's Alan losing the car on the curb. This curb is very twitchy. So, and because he's probably leaving the white line here, not even with the full car, he's receiving a 3-second penalty. This is insane dumb, Gran Turismo. I mean, not even that it's a result of having contact with another car. It is also a spot where you absolutely gain nothing. But yeah, it is what it is. Alan will definitely not be happy with that one. And that's maybe one for the stewards. There's not really a bad intention for Black Charizard. He's just getting a bit too far to the outside. Although the overtake himself is pretty much clean. He's not late on the brakes. He's just using a bit too much of the track for both cars to survive. Guardrail lever is doing absolutely great, staying behind Polti. I think more is not possible with the Renault, and staying in the leading group with Polti and the Faxart is the best he can do. Of course, he has to run the slower medium tire later. We have, with a little gap, O'Leary, Whitvier, Whack Jams. Yeah, that was the catch we already saw. Rothorn picking up the penalty. Back where we stopped, Tap overtaking his teammate. So is Corvette on P10, P11. And the top guys are struggling. Hurricane struggled a lap earlier with his brakes. Alan struggled with Black Charizard and the track limits. And also Pesty is not really getting into attack position. Don't expect Guardrail Lover really to be able to fight Polti. See the big advantage here with the softer tire in the bus stop. But on the straight line, the tire is a tire, and if the car is on speed, no one cares about grip. But now Afaxat has kind of a double slipstream. Because Guardrail Lover tried it. Yeah, Faxart stayed clever on Polti's rear, made the move against guardrail lever now. Has the inside line in turn 1. So position change on P2. And then we have a bit of racing with respectful gap. And Tab must have had another moment. The moment is called penalty. But still, can't be everything. There it is. Expecting the next dumb penalty from the game. Luckily not. So I think he picked up his penalty in the bus stop. Bit too much cutting the corner here. Also not the best of starts for Tab in this race. This is unlucky. This is one of the tracks that fits the Corvette the most. But you still need good traffic, good racing and low mistakes to bring the potential from the car to the track. So I think Tab will definitely not be happy. It looks like Faxat is slightly quicker than Polti in the Porsche. Trailer was super solid on pace. Still sitting on the fastest lap. Yeah, he's one of 3 soft runners. Also O'Leary having a brilliant race so far. Same for Wittweer. So kind of the top 6 stayed themselves all of all trouble. Black Cherries are caused a bit of trouble. Ross on P8, P9 here under pressure from Autoration is Regnix at the moment in the Porsche. Then it's Passy on P11, Major on P12, Hurricane P13. Championship leader is struggling around Daytona in the feature race. But there's still more than 30 minutes to go. Pasty against Major. Pretty sure the AMG cannot attack Pasty. Foxhot against Pulte. Foxhot must have had a really good exit out of the bus stop. Pulte has the inside line. In the background we see Wag Jams against Wittweer. Finally something interesting here on track. It's part of Daytona. For the next left-hander, Wag Jams should have the inside line, and it's even before he completes the move. Now under pressure here from back Charizard. SLS isn't too bad on the straights with slipstream. You can pass a Corvette. That's the move against Wittweer in the bus stop. And Wittweer getting a 1 second penalty. Will be a free position for Ross, and also Autoretti and maybe also Regnix. On the top, everything is the same. Pulte under pressure from a Foxhot. Guardrail lever is now slightly losing Darius and has now O'Leary on his back. Tire still looking okay after 11.5 minutes. So Rothorn, Black Charizard had a little bit of a moment here. Big drift from this. Are next to Foxhot and also Pulte. The highest place from the top guys, I would say, or car driver combination that can race in for the podium. Because I think overall the Renault is maybe not podium competitive on Daytona. Pesty and also Hurricane, who dominated the sprint, are still on P11 and 12. Alan P14. And Tap with another penalty. And Foxhot past Pulte. On the way to the start-finish line, to the bus stop. Must have had a really good exit. So the leader changed. Foxhot now in the Mazda RX Vision on P1, followed by Pulte. Looks like guardrail lever had a little bit of a moment. Lost a lot of momentum here at the exit of the bus stop, trying to avoid a penalty. It worked, but it also cost him a lot of positions. And yeah, this is Daytona, this is the bus stop. A minimal mistake in this chicane can cost you so much. And gaining these positions back, especially in a car that is not the top speed monster and can make easy overtakes from the straight, is so difficult. And also guardrail lever might feel his tires now. James really wide, missing his braking point. 3 position gain for Charizard. And also Ross having a look at the inside here against him. And completed it. Guardrail lever might get this position at least back from his teammate, yes. But James is not defending. Faxard now with a solid gap to Polti. Also Polti is about 2.5 seconds maybe. The gap between Polti and O'Leary. Black Charizard with Ross in his toe. Ross trying it on the inside. And that was a big one. That was a really big one. That's definitely one we should have an eye on. Because that looked a bit like Black Charizard cutting into Ross. So Ross in the slipstream. And now at the start-finish line. It's a 3-car impact. So, it seems that O'Leary and Black Charizard are looking more for the outside line to have the better angle for turn 1. There we see the first little move from Black Charizard to the inside line. What Ross is doing here is completely legal. Just he shouldn't cross with both sides the yellow line. So maybe at this point Black Charizard is deciding not to follow O'Leary on the outside line, instead attacking him on the inside. There was the second little move. Yeah, then there's decision done. Let's walk around the cars. Yeah, this is the moment the first impact happens. I mean, oh, the game also shows it, so it's not even netcode. So yeah, Black Charizard, late decision to attack the inside of O'Leary. Not watching the radar. I think with this kind of big overlapping of the cars, misjudging the radar isn't possible. So yeah, we see that Ross is forced to change his direction. And then it looks like a slightly weird Gran Turismo bug, because at some point it looks that something just explodes and Black Charizard. Yeah, this is the point. So the cars are just minimal tapping, and Black Charizard is getting launched off Ross. Into O'Leary's rear. Let's watch it again on full speed. So here, this is the point. Ross is deciding to go for the inside line. He's the first one who's deciding, so he's acting. This is, I think, in some incident situation, really, really important to have an eye on who is acting, who is reacting. Then it's Black Charizard. I wouldn't say the move to the inside is a reaction to Ross' attempt to overtake. I would more say it is a reaction that he realizes that it might be easier to attack O'Leary on the inside than follow him on the outside line. Then there is the contact. At this point, you can't blame Ross. He cannot just disappear. He made an early decision. He was obvious for everyone. This is a weird Gran Turismo explosion thingy I meant. O'Leary completely unlucky in this situation, but minimum lucky that he at least catched the car and stayed on P5. But still, he absolutely did nothing to the situation and just got punched off the track. Black Charizard dropped down to P13, so this is absolute unlucky. So I think this is kind of a racing incident with the worst possible scenario for him. Literally the first one in the pits. Like expected, Lexus is pretty good on tires. 15 minutes on the mediums are enough. Now the soft tires is good to go. In the lead still Faxart, followed by Polti. Benefited a lot from the carnage behind them, where Ross is now on P3. Whack jams against Ragnix here for P5 and 4. Leary lost another position. Ragnix with a big shortcut and also Pasty with a big shortcut. I think we're gonna see a few penalties here. If Pasty is not getting a penalty, then we should have another look at it, because that means looks like slowing down was just enough to avoid this penalty. Now there's a 5-car group here around Hurricane, Ragnix, up to O'Leary. Now losing position. Wasn't too late from alteration, but Hurricane overtaking Pasty on the straight. So this guy is championship leader. This is the main opposition from everyone on this track, to be honest, and this is just looking like 4 people rolling out the red carpet for him. I mean, we saw Pesty, who lost the speed in the bus stop. Also Ragnick's. So that's 2 quite easy overtakes for Mazda with momentum. Then is Autoratian and O'Leary, who are tapping themselves wide enough to open a big enough gap for Hurricane. This is race intelligence, but this is also completely rolled out red carpet for the championship leader. This is 4 easy overtakes you want to have if you are in this position. So let's see when the Foxart is gonna pit. He's usually one of the smoothest on the soft tires, but also usually one of the guys who are missing the point to switch from mediums to softs. Let's see if he finds the right spot, and the right spot should be now. Because about 22 laps on the soft should be easy possible for him and the Mazda. Pulte might have to stay out a lap longer, maybe even 2. And the Foxart is not pitting, he's staying out another lap. A short side bet. I'm pretty sure in the end of the race he will have massively soft tire left. And as we see, Pesty, who's not the best on tires, also Ragnick's, Guardrail Lover and Tap are all pitting on cars that are slightly worse on tires. Guardrail Lover on the Renault on soft anyways had to pit. But the rest, Tap, the Corvette, isn't the best on tires. Same with the Porsche. Black Sharers are now on P10. So I think again a Foxart is a lap too late. Let's see, Vidvier, first one who pitted. Back on track, right in front of Guardrail Lover, Ragnick's. And Tap. Problem for the Corvette on this track is fuel. So you had to completely refuel the car. And now it is kind of waiting what happens if these guys are done with the strategy. And now a Foxart is in the pits. And if Hurricane in the same car can pit in the same lap with you, it is not a good sign, because usually, and you see it, a Foxart is so much better on the tires than his teammate. Are we going to check out in the end how much soft tire is left on a Foxart's car? It was a little neck breaker for him in the past. Stay with Whitlier. Usually he shouldn't be able to attack these guys. Give me a second. Phone is ringing. Sorry, we are back. So Wittwehr after the undercut. He's now on P7, coming out of the pit right in front of Autoration. Half of the feature is done. And we have a big fighting group here. Ragnick's, Pasty, Hurricane, Guardrail Lover and O'Leary. Major together with Tap here on 14 and 15. And Ross in the lead. Pit now. Staying out for another lap. I think a fuel should be enough. We will see how much time he will lose on this very gaunt tires. Last lap was a 47 almost. 46s before. 46s are still solid race pace, but if you drop into 47s, I think it's time to stop. Wreck jams also on the first set of tires. P3, P2, P3 for Alan, who also absolutely missed the point of pitting. You saw Wittwehr and also Alan is brilliant on tires. The car is awesome on fuel. There's absolutely no need for Alexis to go over 20 minutes on medium tires. So he's pitting about 8 minutes later than his teammate if he's pitting now. He's still doing PBs, but his PB is a 46.6. And this is what we saw times that Ross is setting on absolute rotten soft tires. AC pitting now. Sometimes I know that a lot of guys are watching the streams, but I think I saw and I told Faxart and Alan plenty of times that they are going too long on the medium tires. They're still doing it. I mean, they can prove me wrong, of course. You see that 13 liters of fuel left, so it is not a problem to say, okay, we need to stay out long enough to avoid fuel saving. So Faxart back in the lead, Polti P2, Ross coming out of the pits on P3, Wittwehr with the massive undercut on P4, Whack Jams P5, Autoration P6, 7 Ragnicks, 6 Ragnicks, sorry, 7 Autoration switched position, Hurricane, X Allen. I mean, he's absolutely in range of Hurricane, but you see how Wittwehr's strategy absolutely worked out, and if he can manage the tire until the end, he will definitely be the better placed Lexus, while I would say that Alan overall has the better pace. Faxart immediately purple. And Ross on P3. Then these three guys are separated quite a lot. I think Ross might have overall a better pace than Pulte, maybe not as a Faxart. Vidvia on P4. 15 minutes to go. Wag Jam's brilliant race so far, P5 in the Renault. Ragnick's, I think he received a little push here from Hurricane, but catch the car. Because Hurricane massively slowed down and a bit unnatural. Alan P8. Caught Pesty, caught Ateratian. O'Leary 11, Guardrail Lover P12, Major P13, Black Charizard P14. I mean, we saw what happened to him, and Tap on P15. So let's see the lap times of the three guys if they are crossing the finish line. So Faxart might set the new fastest lap here. Roth with the 1:45.6. Faxart with the 1:45. Is slower. Was staying on the fastest lap. And yeah, Pulte is losing plenty of time. 8/10 to a Faxart. Ross with a 47.6. Oh, yeah, he's on the mediums now. He started on the softs, right? Currently, everything looks like a Faxart can take the second victory for Mazda tonight. Vidvia at the moment not significant faster than Ross, but I think even if the Lexus is good, he definitely will have to manage a bit of tires. Alan, meanwhile, on the fresh rubber on P5. Ragnick's P6, Hurricane P7, Pastina 8, Autoration P9. Nice little three-way fight here between Black Charizard, Major and Guardrail Lover. Major has the inside line and the slipstream of Guardrail Lover, while Guardrail Lover only has a Renault. And that is not the best weapon you can have on a straight line. And yes, Major managed it and is now ahead of Guardrail Lover. And is Guardrail Lover able to overtake Major again? Major has the inside line. Major stays on P13. Identical lap times here from Pulte and from Ross. Vidvia just 2/10 lower. Yeah, even with tire saving, a 47 on the soft is not enough. Because then you're not gaining any advantage. I think even in Lexus 46s are possible. If you then run the soft tires and you're hard stuck in the 47s. And the quickest laps he did was 46.8, 46.9. Hurricane setting Alan under pressure. And Hurricane completing the move is now on P5. Regnick against Pesty. And the Porsche takes P6. P7, sorry. Jams and Black Sheriffs are still fighting for P11. Major and also Guardrail Lover might get back in this fight. I think currently there's no way for them to get back in the top 10. Well, we have less than 8 minutes to go. And now Faxart is burning. Maybe Ross's fastest lap down was really close in the last lap. And now he's half a second purple after the bus stop. Ooh, just a bit, but he's quicker. And currently I don't see anyone on track who is able to get at least close enough to his lap times. Maybe Hurricane, but he's always involved into traffic. Defending his position against Alan. A little bit of contact between those two. Looked like Alan realized that there was contact and not going for an overtake attempt. Looked like he lifted off a bit. But we are still on P4. O'Leary, Autoration, and Pesty. Here on the braking from Pesty. But we saw Autoration is sometimes using a bit early braking points, especially if he's close to another car, maybe to avoid any kind of contact. And we saw Pesty also in the past. It seems that he's a bit struggling with overtaking and the fighting. He's kind of a Mr. Nice Guy on track. But sometimes you need some pair of elbows here in ALR. But maybe now, on the way to turn 1, Autoration is covering the inside line. No chance here for Autoration, for Pesty to overtake Autoration. Black Charizard P11, Wack James P12, Major P13, Guardrail Lover P14, and Tab P15. Still in contact with Guardrail Lover. Faxart still low 46s. Polti mid 46s. Looks pretty secured. Ross is not able to go this pace on the medium tire. Wittwer is currently gaining a lot on Ross, so maybe there's the podium. Still possible. But in his tow there's, with Hurricane and Allen, two more podium hungry cars, but Hurricane is picking up a penalty in a bus stop. 1 second penalty, and this is definitely the chance for Allen and also for Regnick to gain this position for free. Is Regnick able to manage an attack? It doesn't look like. No, Hurricane can save himself in the first corner. But now Regnick is on his rear. 3 more minutes to go. A Faxart looking absolute consistent. No mistakes on his side. I think with a bit more consistency he could be the main opportunity for his teammate, for Hurricane, in this season. I mean, they're sitting on the best car. On a car that might be banned on the majority of the tiers next season. And I think they're pretty much overall in the top runners. But also his driving. He's usually on the pole. But there's often this one single moment where he loses plenty of time, and same words we could say about Pesti. I think he's also struggling a bit with the overtaking through the midfield. That's where guys like, for example, Hurricane are a bit more cold-blooded, a bit more risky, a bit more rough also in the overtakes. But this toughness, this slight aggression in the overtakes, you need to become champion here. Because everyone is racing for the position and no one is giving you a free position. There will be 2 more laps for Faxart, and like I said, there's way more rubber on the tire than 2 more laps. But even with this late stop on the mediums, he should be able to win. Polti pretty secured now on P2. I think his tires will be happy if the race is over. Ross on P3. And Ross might become trouble with the fuel. I am not sure. But it's interesting because these races are timing-wise a bit on the edge. It can be 22, it can be 23, and he is looking more like 23 laps. Wittwer is gaining, obviously, but also Wittwer may be calculated with 22 laps. And it should work. It should be only Polti and Faxart who have to do another lap. Let's see when Ross is crossing the line. Yeah, they should be fine. They should be fine. Ross finishing P3, Wittwer P4, Allen. And Mr. Allen, if you're watching, or if you're ever watching this, look at your tires. There's more than 50% left on his rear right tire. it's absolutely insane. P5 is an absolute brilliant result, but there's not that big of a gap between you and Wittwier and Ross. So this would have been at least easy 2 positions you could have gained. But never mind, mistake is done now. Regnick's finishing P6, the championship leader on P7. So Regnick's could gain the position Pasti on P8, O'Leary P9, P10 for Black Charizard, followed by his teammate Autoration. Major on P12, Wagjams on P13, Guardrail Lover P14, Tap Shooter on P15, and yeah, a Foxart and also Potty both calculated right with the 23 laps. Yes, I think the calculation of Ross and also of Wittwier and the rest, except Regnick's. Regnick's could have done another lap, also Hurricane. It's maybe why he lost a bit in the pits. But you see here on the fuel, some people, especially the SLS, massively overfueled. All the Mercedes. But some people were completely on the edge. Some were going for the more safe strat. And if Ross had a 5-second quicker race, he would have run out of fuel. But congratulations to Foxart, P1, Polti in the Porsche, P2. Brilliant results for them. So great and clean racing, no big incidents, especially in the bus stop. Everything looked pretty much clean. Was a pleasure again to watch. So I'm pretty sure next week I'm gonna see you on Wednesday. Have a good night. Have a nice weekend. And see you then next week.